I'm County Councilor Randall Ryti, and I'm here at the Los Alamos Daily Post to recap the September 10th, 2024 regular council regular session. We started out the meeting with a moment of silence in recognition of the tragic death of Charlie McMillan, former Labor Director, and we went from there and we had some proclamations, four proclamations on the 10th. So one was about National Cleanup Day, so this was changing our usual Cleanup Los Alamos Day to coincide with the National Day, which is September 21st. Then we had a proclamation designating September 2024 as Voter Registration Month. We had a proclamation recognizing September 10th through 24th as Constitution Week. Then we had a proclamation designating September 15th through October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Then we had some items on consent. Probably one of the more interesting ones for the community was that we're getting some services for firefighter cancer screening services. So I think that's an important thing to have. And then we had some public hearings. So we had a public hearing on the ordinance, the revised ordinance for affordable housing. And so we had some changes to that a couple weeks before. And so it came back for a final hearing, and it did pass. And so one of the big changes in there is having both low and moderate income, and it's based on our area, so the county gross income levels, so 80 to 120%. Now people qualify for that. There's also a provision in there for supporting public schools for housing. The next item was a resolution of support for Trinity Drive, what's called the modified road diet option. And so this was something that had been heard before the Transportation Board back in June. Then Council had a meeting and discussion and asked staff to move forward with this particular option in August. And so the Department of Transportation needs to have a formal resolution of support from the governing body to indicate their support for it. So there's a fairly large grant that's funding the design and or the study and design and then construction phases. So $4.25 million. So with having this resolution of support, staff can continue working on the project and get into the design phase. The next item had to do with UNMLA capital projects, and so Chancellor Holtzclaw came to council and had a number of projects he outlined that the UNMLA is working on, and he had just to fulfill the request for $600,000 in funding. So we had $200,000 per year for this year and the previous 2 years, and so he came to request that funding, and council asked the county manager to come back with an increment in additional funding for this fiscal year of $50,000. The next item was the conceptual study for artificial turf. So to look at 5 different fields that are in the county parks and see if any of them would be good options for having artificial turf as opposed to the natural grass. And so that study is going to take about 10 months, and then likely there'd be a period of evaluating the results. So it would be the budget hearings in April of 2026 when we might be looking at some options for that. And Director Styron did indicate that for most communities, they do look at bonding because these are substantial investments in making those changes. So that's something that is still ways out now, so basically about 2 years from now. Then we had, last item was about the Coalition of Sustainable Communities New Mexico. They are looking for restructuring the organization with a new board of directors, and so they need to have representative from each county, and so council voted for Councilor Haveman to be that representative. And the other things I wanted to note were, so we're not going to be having a work session next week. That's been canceled on the 17th. And so we'll be having the next regular session is September 24th. And also wanted to let people know about the e-comment feature on the agendas. And so you can make comments in the agenda package, but there is a deadline for that. So you have to get those comments in before the meeting, the day before the meeting. So that's another way. I hope people take advantage of that as a way to let us know what their thoughts are about different items on the agenda. So with that, thank you.